On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. You stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. The Sundown, for the news, views, opinion, debates and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show on iRadio with me, Madrama James. Today is Tuesday, the 24th of June 2025. The program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-022-986-986. You can send for us a text message on 0913-986-986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on Facebook, X, YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to our website at www.iradio.org. Coming up. Well, in today's program, we begin it with a major humanitarian assessment of the flood and cholera crisis in Unity State. A high-level delegation led by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, accompanied by the Minister of Youth and Sports, who represents the Minister of Water, a representative from the Ministry of Health, the chairperson of Human Rights Commission, and officials from UN agencies has arrived in Unity State to assess the impact of flooding and the cholera outbreak. This marks the first general humanitarian assessment in Unity State in 2025 at a time when the region is facing devastating floods and growing health emergency. First, let's hear from the governor of Unity State, Justice Riek Bim Top, national delegation, about the challenges facing the state, while also appreciating the support from humanitarian partners. More in this following speech.
Thank you so much. This morning I have received a very huge and very important delegation from Juba, comprised of ministers, Minister of Humanitarian and Minister of Youth and Sport, and acting Minister of Water. Together with our partners, they have come to assess three situations of humanitarian crisis. That is the flooding, which is imminent, and the cholera outbreak. We had a very fruitful discussion. This assessment will work as a campaign to us here. We took them through the challenges we are facing at the state, and our partners are also working together with us to make sure whatever capacity we have together can be used to mitigate this crisis. Thank you so much.
Governor Justice Riek Bim Top is the Unity State Governor. Meanwhile, the National Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akolata, conducted an on the ground assessment of the humanitarian crisis on Wednesday. The visit aimed to identify urgent gaps in humanitarian response that required immediate government action. Minister Albino says Unity State was prioritized due to the high risk of severe flooding and the escalating cholera outbreak. He cited Panyijar, Mayandit and Ler counties in the southern part of the Unity as already facing severe floods. He warned that over 74,000 people are at risk of being affected by this year's flooding in Unity State alone, with Rupkona, Ler and other counties are also in danger. The national delegation also acknowledged funding constraints following the U.S. government's decision to suspend aid to South Sudan and other countries. Despite this, Minister Albino pledged that the government of South Sudan will step in to support affected population at the state, county and PAYAMS level. More in this following speech.
Today, we are here in Unity State in Bentiu, in the office of the governor. We came from Juba as a delegation, and this delegation comprises government institutions that are concerned with the flood, management of flood, and the management of cholera. This to say, the Minister of Water Resources, who is being now acted by the Minister of Youth and Sport, is with us to assess the level of water and some projects of water, all whom it have connection with the flood. With us also representative of the Minister of Health, who is also here to assess the situation and management of cholera. Of course, with us always the chairperson of humanitarian and human rights in the national government and the chairperson of RRC National. This is from the government side. From our partners, the delegation is headed by the Deputy SRSG, who is also the resident and humanitarian coordinator, plus other partners. This mission to Unity State is to assess the two situations. One is the flood and the other is the cholera. And for this mission, we consider Unity State to be the most affected state in terms of cholera and in terms of flood. This is why we have chosen to come to Unity State, because the flood is again coming this year, 2025, as it came 2024. The likeliness of impacting people is also there this year. The anticipated number to be affected in Unity State alone is more than 740,000 people that are going to be affected. And the most counties that are going to be affected, one of them is Rupkona, Ler, Panyijar and other counties. This is why we have chosen to come here to assess first the resilience of our people in Unity State, both host community, IDPs, returnees for the last flood and their readiness for the upcoming flood. We have also came to assess the resilience of our people for cholera and their also readiness to also continue resisting the cholera, because it has started last year, November, and it went very high in December 2024. It declined in the beginning of this year, and now is rising again. So we also came to assess the readiness of management of the cholera. While we are here, we were briefed by His Excellency the Governor about the states, which is all calm, and there is a lot of activities that are taking place, including resilient activities, which we are really interested to hear this as humanitarian family. We are also briefed that the campaign is already going on to inform the likely areas to be affected by flood and the cholera through the commissioners and mostly through the task force, the two task force for flood and the other for cholera. With this, we are seeing the leadership of government of the state in the top of management of these two crises, which we are very, very happy to hear. Because one of the important issues that we are also come to assess is the management of the crisis, which we are quite confident that the state government is doing it to their best. We are here also to appreciate the work being done by our partners since last year and today, whom they are now with their work. The city is being protected by them. So we want to say that this is the start of the campaign for awareness of the likely flood to happen like what happened last year. We want to encourage both the leadership of the state and the people of the state that the national government and the partners are there to support them and to continue.
Minister Albino Akol Atak is the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management talking to us. That's from Unity State. The UN Humanitarian Coordinator in South Sudan, Anita Kiki, expressed a deep concern over the worsening cholera situation. She revealed that 3,500 people have lost their lives and over 24,000 have been affected in Unity State. Let's hear more from Anita Kiki as she addressed the media during her visit in this following speech.
We've just concluded a very helpful meeting with the governor and his cabinet. As has been briefed, the purpose of the mission was to discuss resilience of the community when it comes to the response to cholera and when it comes to the response to flood. We were briefed by the governor about with the leadership of the Payams and the